Oscar Piastri took pole position in a dramatic end to qualifying for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Championship leader Lando Norris was only 6th. Piastri made the most of his McLaren teammate Norris's scruffy final lap in Q3 to record his second career F1 pole by less than 2 tenths from George Russell, but the Mercedes was later demoted to third by a one-place grid penalty for being prematurely released from the garage ahead of a restart during Q2. The ruling promoted Ferrari Charles Leclerc from third to the front row, while Russell's Mercedes teammate Antonelli was punished for sleep offence and dropped from 4th to 5th behind Alpine's Pierre Gasly. McLaren were expected to look up the front row after dominating practice, but a poor last lap from Norris as the track ramped up left him facing a fight through the field on Sunday. Norris leads the championship by just 1 point from Verstappen, who will start right behind the McLaren driver as he struggled with his Red Bulls braking throughout qualifying. With Piastri only 13 points behind Norris in the standings, he has an opportunity to make inroads ahead of the race start at 4 p.m. on Sky in the UK. Lewis Hamilton endured another disappointing qualifying session as he was ninth behind Carlos Sainz, with the Spaniard delivering his best showing yet for Williams. Yuki Tsunoda ensured the Red Bull had 2 drivers in Q3 for the first time this season, but as only 10th. Haas's Esteban Ocon crashed heavily into the barriers during Q2, which resulted in a red flag and restart that led to Mercedes penalties, but managed to walk away from the accident. But throughout practice, it was McLaren who were clearly ahead of the field, but Piastri had been setting the pace since second practice on Friday. Having topped Q2 and gone fastest after the first Q3 runs, Piastri faced serious pressure when Russell delivered a great lap on the evolving track to take provisional pole. The Australian delivered with a 1:29.8 to beat Russell's time by 0.168, so the attention turned to Norris, who delivered on this circuit. Norris was third following the opening Q3 laps, but made an error at turn 1 on his last run and shredded more time over the remainder of the lap to end up 0.42 seconds adrift of pole and 6th. Antonelli and Gasly jumped the British driver with their best qualifying performances of the season, but within 4 tenths of Piastri. I felt confident out there pretty much all weekend. FP1 was an experience for Russell. I think it was more really a rally car than an F1 car, said Piastri, but from then on I felt really comfortable with the car. FP3 we had good pace, and qualifying the others caught up a little bit closer than what I wanted, but I still delivered the laps when it mattered. So yeah, I'm very happy. Verstappen rescued a frustrating session in 7th, having suffered brake issues which may be created due to a setup change. It looked like Tsunoda was going to out-qualify the Dutchman, but the Japanese driver will have to settle for 10th, although will be relieved to get into Q3, which is the first time Verstappen's teammates done so this year. But Lewis Hamilton will be disappointed, 6 tenths behind Charles Leclerc. Ferrari brought a new floor to Bahrain, but it doesn't seem to have given Hamilton as much confidence. Elsewhere, there's controversy when stewards announced Hulkenberg's lap in Q1 would be deleted, but that was after the Sauber driver was knocked out in Q2, meaning Alex Albon would have progressed, but he didn't get the opportunity to do so, with stewards admitting a mistake. And anyway, before I go, let me run you through the classification from qualifying. Piastri first, great job from him. He'll be absolutely delighted with that, with Norris starting so far down, heavy favourite to win the race tomorrow. And Leclerc coming second, great job from him, well ahead of his teammate. Russell third, I think we'll be pleased for that. He'll be worked for that, but obviously that penalty will be frustrating. Gasly's got to be the star of qualifying, doesn't he? An unbelievable performance. Now Alpine really needed to convert that into points. Antonelli again, hugely impressive for the rookie. He keeps delivering, but Norris 6th, yeah, that's a really poor performance. He should have been minimum second in that car. And he's going to have a tough job to get close to Piastri tomorrow. Verstappen 7th. I mean, Red Bull, yeah, from the great pace they had in Japan to absolutely nothing here. He'll be hugely frustrated with that. Good to see Sainz finally getting some form at Williams, and I think Hamilton will be really disappointed. It's just that last lap of Q3 where Hamilton seems to be really struggling. Don't know whether it's still a car issue or not, but yeah, we'll see. Tsunoda 10th. I think we'll be pleased to get into Q3, but probably felt like there was more to come. Dillon 11th. I think he had really good pace throughout Q1 and then just didn't really quite pick it up in Q2. It'll be frustrating where he sees where Gasly is. For Hadjar, just didn't really have the same pace as he had maybe last few weekends here, so he'll be slightly disappointed with that. Alonso as well, showed some signs in practice, but nothing too much. Ocon 14th, obviously had that big crash. He'll be disappointed because he was ahead of Behrman for the first time in a few races before that. Albon 15th. Kind of got screwed over. It'd be intriguing to see where they are. And then, the kicks out, but not really having much pace. And then Stroll, way where you'd expect him. And Behrman, I think he'll be disappointed with that after a good performance, especially last week in Suzuka. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on our socials. Link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme, and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.